Let's talk about the functions of digestion. So when we intake food from our mouth, hopefully, you are taking in food, which you're going to slowly break down, and you're going to try to absorb as much nutrients from that food as possible. And we do this really slowly because the slower we do it, the more we can actually absorb. If we were to go ahead and eat and try to get rid of that food within like an hour or so, we would have left behind so much sugars and fats and vitamins and stuff. So by doing it really slow, we actually benefit a lot. Digestion is going to be the breakdown of molecules, and this is going to be in chemical or mechanical form. Chemical could be using enzymes or different acids, where mechanical is just going to be churning or chewing. It happens in a bunch of different places. We'll kind of go over them soon. So we have an alimentary canal. It's the first thing that we make when we are starting to build our digestive system, and it's designed to break down food and absorb nutrients. It's open at both ends, so we have to have a really good immune system to sort of protect us at both ends. And we also have to make sure that whatever gets inside the alimentary canal, if it's something bad, we can jettison it as fast as possible. But really, the goal of this process is to absorb nutrients and get food out of, or get energy out of the food that we eat. And that's going to happen two different types of ways. We're going to do it with mechanical digestion. This is going to be done with chewing and churning, the stomach churning. We're going to be talking about bile going ahead and doing a physical breakdown of fats. And then even the segmentation of the intestines moving around a lot is going to be a mechanical form. We're going to have most of our mechanical digestion actually happen in our intestines and stomach. Then we're going to have our chemical digestion. This is going to be done with enzymes or different types of hormones and things to move things around. But really the breakdown is going to be done with the majority of enzymes. And what we're going to do is we're doing this thing called hydrolysis. Hydro means water, lysis means break, and we're turning a large polymer into monomers, and monomers is what our cells can take in and build whatever they need. So they're going to rebuild these polymers, but in a different way. So it's almost like when you eat food, you're like eating Lego. You know, you're eating this big structure, your body breaks it down and turns it into just the raw, blocks. And then whatever your cells need, they just rebuild them. And really the chemical breakdown is polysaccharides are going to become monosaccharides, single sugars, many sugars, single sugars. Proteins to amino acids. Proteins are just basically a long string of amino acids. We're going to break those amino acids down and build them back up to be whatever protein we need. Don't think that there's just one universal protein out there. I don't even want to venture a guess, but I'm going to go out there and say at least 10 million. And that seems like a small number. But those proteins get built, so you eat one, you tear it down, and you build something else. Fats, and we're going to take those fats and break them down into smaller fats, the monoglycerides. So we're going to take a large fat and break it down. And of course, we take DNA, which is nucleic acids, DNA, RNA, and we break them down into nucleotides. We have different layers of our digestion system, and basically what they're designed to do is move food from one area to another and protect us from whatever's in that material. Again, keep in mind, we're an open system from mouth to anus, and we want to make sure that if there is something really bad that we ate by accident, we can sort of jettison it out. And this is going to go ahead, and we have a few different layers. We have the mucosal layer, and that's going to provide some mucus to help move food from one spot to another. There's going to be a submucosal layer, and that's going to have a lot of arteries and veins and lymphatic systems, so if food does get dissolved and broken down, we can move them right away. We're going to have a muscular system, and that's going to be our muscular externa. It is smooth muscle, so it's designed to move involuntarily and move food from one spot to another. And then finally we have our outer covering, our serosa layer, and that is designed to sort of be coated so we can go ahead and protect the alimentary canal from the outside in too. So if there's ever some acid or something that spills in your body, it'll protect your digestive system. Again, the mucosa layer, they are going to be this layer that's going to create mucus. It's designed to help lubricate food to keep moving. It makes an area that's liquidy, so digestive enzymes can work, and hormones. If it was a dry environment, how would they be able to move? I don't want to say they swim, but they float around, and that's how they find their nutrients that they need. It's also an area that we're going to start to break those nutrients down to some smaller components, and we're going to absorb those nutrients into our next layer that we'll talk about next, the submucosa layer. And it protects against pathogens because, again, keep in mind, we don't really know what that stuff has in it, and there's going to be bacteria and parasites and toxins and chemicals we don't want. So we want to protect it against, stuff that could be bad, and if it's really bad and we identify it quickly enough, we'll push it through. Submucosa layer, these are going to be our, there's a lot of arteries there. They're going to suck up those nutrients and move them right to the bloodstream. There's going to be a lot of the lymphatic system there. They're designed to do two things, one for our immune system and two for absorbing fat. The lymphatic system, or the lacteals, which is the smallest component of the lymphatic system, is going to be where we're going to absorb fat and move it. Now we're going to need nerves, and those nerves are designed to feel where the food is and help control that smooth muscle. Again, it's an involuntary muscle and it needs to be controlled. And we then have our mucosal, or our muscularis externa, and that's just going to be our smooth muscle. They're going to control the peristalsis. Peristalsis is to move food in one direction. And it's also going to do this thing called segmentation in our small intestines, where it takes some food and sort of breaks it down into two and brings it back. And this is designed to mix the food up really well, coat it with the enzymes, the acids, and things like that, and then also go ahead and absorb nutrients as much as we can. So we're going to take those nutrients as we make them and dump them into the lacteals and our arteries and veins. Our last layer is going to be just an external covering, and it covers all of our tissues, really. The peritoneums, they're designed to sort of coat the surfaces of digestive organs and any organs around, and they just protect them and help with nutrition. Cool, in our next video we'll talk about controls of the digestive system.